Hey guys, we're back with my panel. You see them all here. They don't have to introduce themselves a second time. This effectively will be video 400 for the doremicom channel. And we're bringing to you the second part of the RTD with a little surprise at the end. But let's get back to the questions first. We're here with question 7, which is... Question number 7. How important is it on a 1 through 20 scale? If you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back to the part 1. Otherwise, you will be lost on this particular episode, okay? On a 20-point scale, 1 to 5 being actually detrimental, 6 to 10 being unimportant, 11 to 20 being important but should be organized. On a 20-point scale, how important is it that a gaming store have employees knowledgeable about the games sold in the store itself? And with this question, we will go straight to bootleg.
That's got to be a 20. If they're not able to answer a question, they don't need to be in there. You're going to the expert to get your answer, and the guy's going to look, I don't know. You don't need to be there.
All right. Do you feel that way about all the games that you sell?
A vast majority, there's too many people that would love to work in a game store that have knowledge. There's too many of them out there that would almost work for nothing that has knowledge. Why hire some idiot that knows nothing? He has to know a vast majority.
Okay.
Or he's not worthwhile.
Solid Smurf, what's your answer?
I gave this a 17 because I know as a customer, if I go somewhere, okay, let's say I go into GameStop and I say, hey, I want this new game for my PS3. And they go, what's a PS3? I'm going to turn around and walk right back out that door just because I want where I'm going to know what I'm looking for, how I can find it. They don't have to know every rule in every book, but they need to know their stock. They have to be knowledgeable when I walk in and say, I want, a Signal charger. Boom. Here you go. This is it. So
all
17.
Right. Jeremiah.
Yeah, I agree. This is really important to have your staff knowledgeable. Unless they look pretty, they need to be knowledgeable about the product. So I'll give it.
Jeremiah, what'd you give it?
I think I gave this a 19. But it's definitely 19 or 20. I don't think I've used 19 yet. So I'll give it 19.
So what Jeremiah is saying is, you don't go to Hooters to learn about hot wings?
Nice. Tony, what's your thoughts?
I don't think I've used 16 yet. It's clearly important. Again, it goes into if you over-diversify your product set, not everybody's going to know everything about everything. And as we know, gamers like us, if we know something about a game, we know everything about a game. So having somebody who doesn't understand it's going to really be a major turn-off. But the big ticket items, the big ones you turn over all the time, the most popular ones, everybody needs to be knowledgeable about it in the store, especially on those sales where non-gamers come in and are purchasing for their significant other or their child or whatever. You need to be that guiding hand in closed sales.
All right. I actually give it a 14. I'm a little bit find it a little less important than these guys, but that's because I really feel like you have to have the events there, because if you don't have the events there, you're not going to have people asking you questions. So one hand kind of feeds the other on this one. I give it a 14. I think it's important that people have a base understanding, but the people that are asking like tournament level questions need to wait till you're holding your tournament and ask the person organizing, which should not be you, the store owner. Next question. Question number 8. How important is it that a gaming store have more than 3 employees? And for this, we're starting with Solid Smurf.
I gave this a 1. This is bottom of the barrel. I have seen a 2-man store do just fine. It is not a necessity. It is not how many dudes you have. It's how you utilize them.
All right, Jeremiah Driggs.
Yeah, this is really low on the list. I'll give it a 2. Like he said, you don't really need that many people in a gaming store running your gaming store. There's really not that much to where you would probably need more than 2 to 3 people. And if you have that much money to be doling out to employees for having more than 2 to 3 people on the staff at a time, then you're probably wasting your money in an area. So, yeah, I give it a 2.
Tony, what's your thoughts?
1. The less people you have, the better, or so I think I work for believes. But one, I mean, this is wasted capital. You don't need to have more than really one person holding down the fort, maybe two if the store is very busy at a particular time. But I mean, you're just wasting money having additional people.
Bootleg, what's your thoughts?
5 or 6. It is nice to have a few people. It's like at the armory, there was a guy or two that I didn't really care for, so I would go on days that I knew they weren't there. But yeah, it's not that important. I'd rather have knowledgeable people than numerous people.
All right. Guys, I actually gave this about a 4. If I had said more than 2, I would have given it probably a 16, because the reality is that you cannot hold a gaming store if you're going to be focused on events driven, or if you have a huge online compartment where you really can't have the same employees doing both because of labor laws and only doing 8 hours, yada, yada, yada. And so the more employees become a critical element. Now, because of this is also probably why I didn't make the knowledge of the games be that high, because you can have employees that are on the side filling out online orders or whatnot. And again, it's not super critical for over 3, but I cannot tell you how many PMs I got from people who are thinking about opening up a store and already talking about, like, yeah, me and my 4 other buddies were thinking about opening a store. That's a dead proposal. Don't go down that path. It really, really is. You're not going to be able to sustain that much income coming in to make that worthwhile. And we're on to the next question, which is question number 9. How important is it that a gaming store offer discounts or a discount program to its patrons? And for this, we're starting with Jeremiah Driggs.
This one, I don't think I've used 17. I'll give it 17. I think it's important to try to provide them with some sort of discount. I mean, there's too many options out there to go to online stores that do give discounts. I mean, these models are cheap, and who wants to pay full price for a high price model? So it's pretty important to try to have some sort of discount or some sort of program to provide to your customers.
All right, Tony, what's your thoughts?
19, because I already used 20. I mean, look at it for any other product. If the same movie is being sold in Walmart and Target, and Walmart has it for $2 less, I'm getting the exact same thing. I'm going to Walmart. So, I mean, we need to have competitive pricing. Now, people know you're going to be a little bit more expensive, maybe 15% off as opposed to 20, because you're supporting this infrastructure and you're providing them a lot more than just the product. But you can't expect the people to pay MSRP. On big ticket items, we don't do it. But a lot of people, this is their big ticket expense, this hobby, so they're not going to pay full price. So it's a 19.
Bootleg, what's your thoughts?
15, it's very important. The Armory, my favorite store that just closed, they had, the back of their business cards, they give you little stamps. You got up to 20, you got like 40% off. I actually spent more than I normally would to get those tickets filled for when the big stuff came out. I could slap it down and get my stuff. So it's very important.
All right, Solid, what's your thoughts?
This is 20! Sorry, I thought I needed to be excited about this one. Because I know there's a local store that I have a little plastic card that they gave me. I put it down. I get 10% off all my models. I spend $100. They give me a $5 off coupon. You know, and it accumulates. It's not all at one go. I'm driving 20 minutes down the road to get to the store to save a couple bucks. You know, and it fuels my hobby. I'm not driving to the local store that I'm paying full price at. No. I'm going down the road. People want a deal, especially with the economy the way it is. Look at Newegg. Look at Steam. People like saving money.
Okay, now I'll give you my view. I say it's an 18. I think it is completely critical. Again, having that core group of people that as soon as you hook them in, you give them another reason to always keep coming back to you. That, you know, whether or not it's the card, whether or not you spend $5 and you get 20% off everything for an entire year, which I've seen in one of the local gaming stores here. there's just a lot of opportunities to provide that kind of good feeling for your customers, because you're still going to make a profit. You're not saying, do I want to offer something where I'm going to not make profit on whatever I'm selling, but it's fostering that goodwill, encourages them to constantly come back for events. Once you hook them once, you keep coming them back. When they keep coming back, they buy your stuff. It's good stuff. I'm going to give it an 18. Let's see. What's the next question? Question number 10 and the last one before we start asking the overall, how would you set up a new gaming store? How important is it that a local gaming store introduce new games to its customers? And for that, we're going to start with Tony from the Sustainable Center.
18. I mean, before you start working with your starting a new game system, you should obviously do the research and make sure you can make money on it. But once you make that initial investment, you got to make that product turn a profit. So you need to introduce people to new games. You need to put sales on top of it. You need to run your demos. Otherwise, it's just another thing on the wall. And if it's between getting more models for the game I already play or starting something new I don't understand, I'm going to get more models for the game I already play. So it's an 18. It's incredibly important if you're going to make that decision to expand your product set to get people to actually buy it.
That would be interesting, because that kind of goes against your diversified stock. Bootleg.
Depends upon how initially diversified you are.
Ah, true.
12. I don't want to feel like I'm forced to buy more games. They're there. If I show an interest, explain it to me, but don't try to peddle stuff to me. That's a turn off.
Let me go ahead and rephrase this question, because the idea behind the question was really, I am a store. I already have a set stock. How important is it that I get a new game to sell?
You're talking something that you don't carry.
Yes.
New game.
Okay. I was thrown off on that. It's very important. If you don't have the new and greatest, or whatever the new thing on the block is, somebody else is going to. I had that backwards.
Sorry about that. Probably my fault in the way I worded it. Smurf, what's your thoughts?
I gave you this a 15th. The 15th. I gave it a 15 because you got to keep people gaming. People that are already gaming, you just got to hit that main vein and keep them gaming. Introduce something new. There's lots of different ways to do this, because if you have a person buying one product, they're giving you this much money. Maybe if you give them buying two products, now they're buying this much, and it's just moving. It's fueling the economy. It's giving you the money. I like it.
All right, Jeremiah, what's your thoughts?
I'm going to give it. It's really important, and I think I've already used the numbers that I would give this, but I'll give it the 20 since I haven't used it. But you've got to be very careful with this. This goes back with, like you said, the diversifying the gaming stock, and you have to be really careful that you don't jump into something or get too much of something, or just get something that the people in your area are not interested in. But I do think it's very important that you do try to. Eventually, somebody that plays 40K is going to have every 40K model they need, or whatever game War Machine model they need. It's really important that you introduce these other games, or try to find something that you can expand your product, like Tony said, your product line, and get sales generated from another game.
All right. My viewpoint on this, I think it's actually a 10. I'm really kind of dropping it way straight down. Here's the reason why. I don't think it's the local gaming store's responsibility. It behooves them. It really helps them. And they should be more than happy to say, hey, press gangers, you want to go demo War Machine? Or I got some local guy who wants to design his own game and he wants to do a demo in my store. That's great. But Again, it's that initial cost of upfront stock where you really kind of need those hardcore, devoted patrons who buy your gamer card and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to throw down $200 on a brand new game that you don't have if you can order it for me. Then you go out, you order the game and introduce the stock that way. But for me as a local game store owner, to introduce a game is a ton of research. I need to go to these, conventions and find out really based on what my population is, what games could work, to make the context I need to get the lowest and cheapest price on whatever game is coming out. There's a lot of investment in time and money. As a game store owner, I really need to rely on other people to kind of take that for me. At the same time, I should be opening up some small segment of my huge gaming store for them to always be free to demo new stuff. And then immediately carry the product as soon as I have people that are interested in buying it. And with that, again, we're looking at my whole cast and crew for this episode. We're about to go into each person taking their top 5 and telling you how they would actually set up a new local gaming store in our fictional town of Doremicom. You know what? No. I'll jump in first, and I will show you what I mean by this, okay? That way you guys know.
I'm still doing it the way I want to do it.
So, I like that bit.
So my top 5 is hold regular events, sell non-hobby related merchandise and services, offer discounts and discount programs to patrons, have lots of gaming area, and have knowledgeable employees about the games sold in the store. Basically, I'm taking the entire notion of a local gaming store and turning it into the same sort of space that you have for movie theaters. The big difference is that when you step into a movie theater, you've already got the upfront price of anywhere between $10 and $18, depending on where you live in the States, to get into that movie theater to have a good time. Gaming stores, open door policy, everyone comes in for free. But then as soon as they come in, it's more or less we have brought you the fun because you have come here. We are the amusement park of the area. Here is all the stock that you need if you want to partake. And when you do, buy my little gaming card and get a discount so that if you never come back to my store, I still got the extra $5 from you for that. Over here, we got some refreshments so you can stick around for a long time. It opens up, and even though it sounds like I'm being schmarmy, the reality is if I am truly offering someone a fun and diversified experience, those people will be coming back. They'll be bringing their friends because it's free to enter, and they will be continually improving without a whole lot of effort on my part, more customers coming into my store. And that's how I would run a local gaming store. From that,
you've had way too much time to think about this question.
Well, I was wondering all the questions, right? So I went to
He cheats. Every episode he just cheats.
Whatever. So we're going to go jump back over to Jeremiah Drake. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we
ready
go.
I'm going to be anyway. All right, I would definitely try to. This is something I've actually really looked into. Really did look into trying to open up a store here locally a while back. But I would definitely have a place where I could have lots of gaming area. That was something that was really important to me. Definitely, like you said, have that free open gaming every day. Whoever wants to come in, make sure they have plenty of area for that. I would definitely have employees knowledgeable about the games. I'm knowledgeable in the games, and I would expect that anybody that works for me to have that same knowledge and be able to answer any questions that they have. So definitely have employees knowledgeable about the games sold. Discounts, that was something that was really big for me. How else are you going to get people into the store besides giving big discounts? A perfect example here is Solid Smurf driving 20 minutes down the road to go to a store, so that's something very important. Let's see. Diversify the gaming stock as far as maybe as first starting off 3 to 4 games and try to have as much diversity within that stock itself. And then,
That sounds good. Tony, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes. All right, top one is hold regular events. Get noticed that you're marketing and advertising. You got customers in the door. That's how you sell product. My second one would be number 9, offer discounts and discount programs. Sales get sales. Period. We all know that. Number 3 would be question 10. Introduce new games to its customers. Your new product needs to turn a profit. So to get that new product to move off your shelves, you need to introduce gamers to it. You can't rely on other people to market and advertise it. You need to have control of it. That's pretty straightforward in my opinion. Number 4 is question 4. Have lots of gaming area. Your customers aren't just going there to buy it. They're going there for a complete experience. Therefore, it needs space to provide that experience, and that also goes to holding those regular events, which was number 1 on the list. And number 5 is question 7, have employees knowledgeable to make that final sale. They need to close the sale and push product. They need to run the events possibly, or assist in running events. They need to be knowledgeable. That's my top 5.
All right, Bootleg, your thoughts?
I wouldn't open a gaming store. I'm in the lottery and don't need money to survive. There's no way you could get me to own a game store. Too much work, not enough money. I already starve at this business. Why would I get into a business that's even worse?
You know what?
No,
it's a very valid point. I think the reality is that if you don't love it, if you don't actually count that as working vacation, don't get into it at all. Smurf, tell us about your local gaming store.
I'm ready. I'm not going to give too much away because I plan to implement some stuff and I don't want people stealing my ideas. But discounts, big deal. Like I said, people love to save money. You know, you're going to have the little kids who come in and they're like, I got $1 for my allowance. I got to spend it on something. You know, you're going to have the college kids come in that are, you know, barely making ends meet, but they still they got to partake in themselves a little bit. You're going to have grandma who comes in and who's on assisted living, but she's got a little Tommy, you know, something. You know, there's going to be people always looking to save money, so you got to do that. You got to have new games. You know, if things are going to get stale, people are going to go through burnout. I mean, you can't, I don't care who you are. I mean, unless you're like Fanboy 5000, who, you know, literally catches the store on fire because they sell a different game. People want diversity. They like, you don't go to the same place for lunch. You don't count me down. Put that down. You don't go to the same place. You don't go to the same place for lunch 365 days a year. You're going to try something new at some point. You got to have an online store, reach the masses digitally, use that credit card, you know, knowledgeable employees. You got to know what you're talking about or else you look like an idiot and people are going to just leave. And then events. Bring people in, make them feel at home, offer that discount, and then, you know, suck them in with cool things you're doing.
All right. We're here with the prediction questions. The last question that we have here, make a prediction no matter how outlandish about the current and or future realities of local gaming stores. And with this, we are going to start with Jeremiah Drigg.
Oh man, this is going to be pretty grim. My future prediction is we're going to have a lot of them closing down. I know that's sad, but it's the truth. You know, there's just not enough. The way that everything is, there's just not enough, you know, extra money floating around. So gaming is probably going to be cut.
Tony, what's your thoughts?
To survive, businesses are going to horizontally integrate, meaning instead of vertically integrating, which is buying plastic and buying molds, you're going to horizontally integrate. So people are going to actually start to offer, not only will we order the models that you want, but we'll actually assemble them, we'll paint them. I know it sounds a lot like BTP, but people are going to have to start going across and milling the system for that. So you're going to have to offer those kinds of services to your customer to make money across the whole life cycle of the product in which you sell. And I think those are the gaming stores, point to Jeremiah's prediction, that are going to survive as we have this collapsing and consolidation of gaming stores and areas. There's no reason for one area like Raleigh to have 7 gaming stores. As nice as it is for you and me, Brian, it's just, it doesn't make sense. It will eventually collapse to 2 or 3.
All right. A lot of grim, dark future between Jeremiah and Tony. Bootleg, what's your thoughts?
It's a grim world, bud. I see brick and mortar stores being a thing of the past soon. I see it all going online. Our future doesn't look bright.
So might as well take the shades off. Solid Smurf, you're up.
Okay, I got this. Games Workshop stores will start charging an entrance fee to go into their stores. Also, most everything is going to go digital. We're going to see the fall of the local hobby store, the rise of the gaming club, and everyone's just going to be buying online. And then they're going to go to their club and play. There's not going to be a big storefront, except for the Games Workshop stores, because Games Workshop. I don't know. That's all I got.
All right.
I just kind of made up the end.
We could tell. Anyways, if we take a look at my prediction, remember it's this one's going to be outlandish, but I actually foresee that if the focus is more about the experience and not the actual selling of product, which is counterintuitive for business ownership, that you actually will see businesses stay afloat, businesses potentially flourish, and the increase of the pie that is ever decreasing at a very, very fast rate as people move to the digital media. That's what I'm talking about. So leave your comments. Let us know what you think. And we'll come back with episode 4 probably by August.